Hi, and welcome to Drugs with Derica. I'm your host, Derica, and today we're going to talk about pharmacodynamics and pharmacotherapeutics. Pharmacotherapeutics is defined as how a drug treats, prevents, and diagnoses a pathology. Pharmacodynamics is a type of pharmacotherapeutic. Pharmacodynamics is determining where a drug acts specifically and how it does what it's supposed to do. In other words, pharmacodynamics is how a drug affects the body. Pharmacodynamics can be broken down to 6 parts: the receptor, the dose response, the time response, the therapeutic index, the plasma dose response, and half-life. We're going to talk on the first one. Receptors are components to which a drug binds. That's simple. They can be located on or within a cell, and it's kind of like a lock and key type deal. Receptors have different types of interactions. They can be agonist or antagonist. An agonist reacts with the receptor to produce a response, which we're normally used to seeing when we take any type of drugs. An antagonist binds with the receptor but has no response, so it's kind of more like a placebo thing. Part 2 is dose response. Dose response is basically tells you what the potency of a drug is. Potency is defined as the amount necessary for a desired effect. So the more potent a drug is, the lower the dose requirement is, and vice versa. Drugs. Part 3 is time response. Drugs don't just automatically start working. There are 3 factors to consider when talking about drugs and time response. You have latency, maximal effect, and the duration of action. Latency can be is basically how quickly a drug sets in. So it's the onset of action. Then you have maximal effect. Maximal effect is where a drug reaches its peak efficiency, so it's working at its best at that particular point in time. And then you have duration of action, how long a drug can last. Some drugs last 4 to 6 hours, some drugs last 3 to 6 days. It just depends. And these all can be influenced by the route of administration, so how the drug is ingested, whether it's orally or by IV, and also by drug solubility and other things. Part 4 is therapeutic index. It's the range in which desired effects are produced. It's basically how toxic a drug can be, and it helps to determine drug safety. Part 5 is plasma dose response. It's the level of response which correlates with plasma in the blood. And every drug has plasma in it, and depending on the plasma amount in the blood, it tells you how quickly and how it will react to the drug. Then you have part 6, half-life. Half-life is the time required to reduce a drug's effects by half. This doesn't change with dose. This is just how a drug is working in the body. And this tells us how often a drug can be taken and how a drug works. Well, thanks for watching. This was Drugs with Derica. I hope you all enjoyed my little segment.
Y'all haters corny with that Illuminati mess. Paparazzi catch